Okay, so that gives you an example of a search and history reference center. So let's move on and look at another database here in our master list. JSTOR is a very well-established academic database that has been around for a long time. It covers articles that go all the way back into the 1800s, and the articles tend to be very detailed graduate level articles, but you may need to pull an article from JSTOR. So using our example of the Middle Ages and the Black Death from the previous database, we'll go over here to Advanced Search, and we'll take a look at doing a search here. So we'll do Black Death and Medieval Europe. And we'll add a field. And let's say we are writing a paper about medical treatments during that period of history. And we'll do a search. So we've done this is a very highly specialized search, and we find that there are 1,169 articles dealing with various aspects of treating the Black Death or the bubonic plague. So we'll just take a look at this first one, Treating Medieval Plague, the Wonderful Virtues of Theriac. And we'll click where it says Article PDF to actually pull the article up on the page. And we agree to the terms. I have to click on that link first. Okay, so now we see the article coming up on the page. Treating Medieval Plague, the Wonderful Virtues of Theriac by the author Christiane Fabry. The source is a journal entitled Early Science and Medicine, Volume 12, Number 3, from 2007. And so this would be a more professional, graduate level kind of article that people might be interested in if they're really doing a detailed paper about a very specific treatment of bubonic plague. I did a little searching, and this is quite a long article here, so we won't look at the entire thing. But I did a little bit of research on Theriac because I was curious as to what it was. And I found that it was a concoction involving 64 different drugs with honey mixed in. So any doctor who would administer this to a patient would certainly have gone to a lot of trouble to make it, and then whether the patient would survive would be another issue. But I've always thought that people preferred to avoid the plague or run away from it, but apparently there were medical doctors who tried to administer a treatment, and probably the treatment killed more people than it helped. But anyway, that's JSTOR, and again, a wonderful database because it encompasses articles from over 1,000 academic journals going back over 100 years. So just an excellent source for people really doing detailed research. Coming on down, we'll just look at a couple more databases. Research Library at ProQuest is one of my favorites. Somewhat similar to Academic Search Complete, but also a little bit more advanced. Has a tendency to be very top-heavy with professional journal articles versus pop magazines, newspapers, that sort of thing. So let's change, shift gears here, and let's do full text, and let's do peer-reviewed. Now, let me explain something about peer-reviewed articles. You have two kinds of articles appearing in Galileo. You have articles that are in popular magazines, and you have articles that are appearing in what we call professional journals. Professional journals are written by people in the field, historians, the Journal of World History, or Modern Europe, or Current History. Those are all examples of professional journals that are actually written The articles are written by professional historians, professional political scientists, people with doctorates, people who are doing research all the time in these fields. So they're different from your popular magazines, which are written by professional journalists who are paid to do a story, who may not have expertise in that field, but nevertheless, Galileo has included those kinds of articles as well, for the sake of helping people understand, basic concepts. A lot of high school students, a lot of first-year freshmen do not necessarily have a strong background in a particular subject discipline, so we need the articles that come from Time, Newsweek, Christian Science Monitor. Those would be your popular magazines. They kind of lay a foundation. So once you've read through some of those and you kind of understand something about a subject, then you want to go to the professional journal articles to find more detailed information written by people who are actually doing research in the field. So ProQuest Research Library has a tendency to be very top-heavy with the academic journals, but they come in very handy when it comes time to do a paper. So we'll do a search here, and so you'll notice I've checked full text and I've checked peer-reviewed, and these are the professional journal articles that I've been referring to. And we'll just do one very quick search here. Let's say that you're doing a paper on the early women's movement, and you may need to tweak that and narrow that down a little bit. So you've chosen Susan B. Anthony, and you may want to leave the search at that, or you may want to add something else. You might want to add and women's rights movement as an example. I could have gone to the advanced search feature and I could have entered the same terms there. But we'll just keep it on that, and let's do a search here. And we have 77 full text articles coming up in these professional peer-reviewed journal articles about Susan B. Anthony and the women's rights movement. So outstanding coverage here. Lots of things to choose from. And you can see where she is highlighted. Her name is highlighted along with the women's rights movement, so we know we're on the right track here. So you won't be at a loss for finding good information about this topic or any other topic. And we can at least click on one of these just to give you an example of what the article looks like. So we're just going to click on the title link, and now we have the title of the article, we have the author of the article, we have the journal title, the volume, issue number, the date, and the page numbers. And then we have an abstract, which is a summary of what the article talks about, and then we have the actual article coming after that. So I really like Research Library at ProQuest. All right, coming back to our master list, we'll look at World History Collection next. And as the title of the database connotes, it is a comprehensive international kind of database, and we'll just do one more search there for the sake of keeping it simple. We'll do Simon Bolivar. You're taking a class on the history of Latin America, and you may not know who Simon Bolivar was, but again, we'll just key in his name, and then we'll do full text here. And we could do other things as well. We could narrow it down a bit, but let's just keep it simple. Click on search, and now we have 29 articles coming up dealing with Simon Bolivar, who was the liberator of at least 6 countries in Latin America, liberated them from the control of the Spanish in the 1820s. And here's a good example here, Simon Bolivar and the Spanish-American Revolutions. So he's considered to be a big hero in Venezuela, Peru, some of the other countries down there. And again, we have an example of what one of those articles looks like. And as with all of the other databases in Galileo, you also have the option to print the article out. You can email it to yourself. There should be a citation. Here we go. Here's the citation link. We'll click there, and we can find out how to cite this. So lots of great options available to you there, and very easy to use. All right, now we have, in concluding this presentation, we've looked at what I consider to be the purely historical databases, but there are a couple of other peripheral databases that I want to mention that are related to history. And let's take a look at those right now because they may come in handy as well. Okay, you'll notice that we've been looking at the master list of historic databases, and we've just looked at about a half dozen or so of these databases, but on down below this master subject list, you'll see other databases in this category. And I really like Credo Reference. Credo Reference, we'll just look at that one briefly. And what we have in Credo Reference is we have the option of looking at encyclopedias, dictionaries, biographies, famous quotations. You can either do a topic search here, or you can come over here and look at encyclopedias. We'll take a look at that one. And then we'll scroll through the master list of encyclopedias. And this is a wonderful database. Very good coverage of all the different subject disciplines here at the college, but look at all of this highly specialized encyclopedias that are available to you dealing with different aspects of history. Just amazing what is available to you there. So I always want to mention Credo Reference when I'm doing a bibliographic instruction class because it is so comprehensive. We'll take a look very, very quickly at one of these. We'll look at the 9/11 Encyclopedia. Just click on that one. And then you can come down and look at all of the different entries in alphabetical order that are featured in that online encyclopedia. And so quite extensive. And then we'll just look at one of the entries here. Bin Laden, Osama bin Laden, the late Osama bin Laden, I should say. And then here is an article on bin Laden, the mastermind terrorist behind 9/11, followed by various images and an analysis of his personality and famous quotations, things of that nature. So again, just a lot of tremendous coverage, and that's just one entry in one encyclopedia among at least 30 or 40 historic encyclopedias, and that's from Credo Reference. Lots of biographies. I could go on and on and on. For the sake of keeping it short and simple, we will just look at one other database here. We can look at North American Women's Letters and Diaries, again, top-heavy with primary sources. And we can come down and look at some sample diaries here. But let's go ahead and just do a search. Let's browse. We can look at historical events. You're writing a paper about the Great Depression, and you need some primary sources. So you may come down through the list here and you may find lots of Civil War diaries, by the way, kept by women. You'll notice all of the Civil War entries here. But coming on down, you'll find the Great Depression here, and there are at least 9 diary entries over here kept by women during that period of time. And we'll just look at one of these, the diary of Anne Marie Lowe, kept in November of 1929. And it's featured in a book entitled The Dust Bowl Diary. So apparently it was her personal diary, and it's at the University of Nebraska. And they have been good enough to publish this online for us. And here you have an actual entry from November 9th, 1929, in which she talks about the crash of the stock market. And so it's quite interesting. I always like to mention that we do have quite a bit in women's studies as they pertain to history. I think that now is a good stopping point. We've looked at a lot of different databases, and I don't want to just keep going and run this into the ground. But I think the most important thing I can share with you in conclusion is that we have multiple databases, lots of information on every topic out there in history, and your most important resource is always the librarian. So I hope that you'll get in touch with us. I think at the top of the session, in the first session, we talked about how to do that through email, live chat, phoning us, tweeting us, what have you. So I hope you'll do that. And thank you again for tuning in.